Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special IAS horror podcast. We're going to be doing a ranking for Nightmare on Elm Street. I am your host, Renegade Operative, and I'd like to introduce my panel today. So we're going to introduce Mr. Cryo Gaming.
Hello.
Next up is Hades Manticore.
Hello, I'm here.
Next up is Versa Vulture.
Hi.
Next up is Lady Tolkien.
Hey everybody, glad to be back.
Mr. Superior Artist, introduce yourself, good sir.
Hello, everyone. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What's up?
Oh my god.
Wow, that's an obscure reference.
Oh yes, from someone who is dead in Freddie's dreams. You know what, Drill Bit, you go next.
Oh, hey everyone, glad to be back.
And hopefully I didn't miss anybody, right? Is that everybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, good. So we're gonna rank these. We're gonna do like everyone uninterrupted. So we're gonna go down the list and we're gonna see who can do their list first from best to worst. And we're gonna start off with Drill.
Oh, okay, guess I'll go first.
Mhm.
But yeah, personal rankings will probably be the first one. Mainly because I kind of like the fact that it's, I don't know, I like the more serious tone of the movies more. And the fact is, it's still very well shot and still pretty scary. Honestly, the first one really, it's still 3 and New Nightmare are still really good, but I like the first one the most. And then after that's Nightmare 3, obviously. And then New Nightmare, Freddy versus Jason. And then we just go down the sequels with Freddy's Dead, Nightmare 4, 5, 2, and the remake. The remake's at the bottom because it's just basically a carbon copy and doesn't really do anything new aside from the micro sleep stuff. And 2's just a very weird movie, honestly. But and it doesn't get that campy and it's not really that scary. So yeah, that's my ranking at least.
All right, that was fast. So next up is Des.
All right. So I also went with the first one as my number one. Just because I guess I thought that the Nightmare on Elm Street was just gonna be like every other slasher, to be honest. And then it wasn't. But I ended up going with one as my first one. And then I went with New Nightmare, which I actually watched right before this podcast. I really ended up enjoying that one. It felt different, I guess, in the terms of the characters weren't necessarily, the characters from the movies. Like it kind of just was their real life. It seemed like. So I just thought that was kind of like an interesting kind of twist. I went with Dream Warriors 3 as my third one. And then Freddy versus Jason. I didn't really know where to put Freddy versus Jason, to be honest, but I knew I wanted it before 4, I guess. And then after that one, I put Freddy's Revenge. That one was a little bit weird. But again, I kind of wanted it before 4, 5, and 6. But then after that one, I put Dream Master, and then the remake, which I didn't really care for the remake just because it was the first one over again. But I ended up like the original one, and I ended up liking the original more. So that's why it's kind of down at the end. And then I had 6 and then 5.
So is that it, Des? Any additional thoughts?
Like I said, I thought that the Nightmare on Elm Street was going to be kind of like every other slasher, but I really did enjoy the creative way that a lot of the characters died. Nothing really comes to mind now. There were a few that stuck out to me, but nothing super crazy comes to mind now.
All right, then Hades, take the floor, sir.
Oh Lord, I'll try not to go too long-winded with mine because I want to try to like get my thoughts out there concisely. But I'm much like everyone else so far. Number one is the OG Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just very iconic, and it also is kind of like subversive, like for your expectations somewhat, because like it follows Tina at the start for quite a bit, and then she's the first kill, one of the most iconic kills in slasher movie history too. But then, Nancy takes over. If I end up calling her Heather, I'm going to be very upset, but I blame New Nightmare for that personally. Number two would be Dream Warriors. Like, I don't know why Dream Warriors is so, like, good compared to the rest of them, but, like, I think it's just because, like, all those kids are super likable, and also, Dream Warriors by Dokken is such a good song, and it's probably the best outro song in the entire series, if I'm being truthful. Number three is New Nightmare. New Nightmare is just like really different, and I kind of want to say it's like a predecessor to Scream in a way, and then it's more just like an observation of the people who like these types of movies. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not good with my thoughts here. I have Freddy's Revenge at 4. Actually, I don't know. It just maybe it means more to me just because like it has a lot of very it's a very gay horror movie, you know what I mean? It's got really quiet when I said that, and now I'm kind of concerned now.
Oh no, we're just letting everyone go uninterrupted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm talking into it.
uninterrupted.
When I say weird shit, I always get kind of concerned. Maybe that means more to me as like a
Look-
bisexual gentleman myself, but a lot of like imagery like that is in that movie, so maybe it meant more. I don't know. Freddy
look,
versus Jason.
someone already said like Freddy looks like a burnt sausage penis in chat. So
Remake, yeah.
like
Yeah.
I had to hold back my laughter. Yeah.
Well, I mean, two could have been even more gay because Robert Englund was gonna shove his gloved finger down Jesse's throat, but
Okay.
I mean,
hello.
fun fact.
he lashes a man to the showers and whips him to death. So I mean, it very a lot of man ass in there too. But I'll stop talking about dude butt now.
All right.
What's better, what's better
Goddamn.
than this? Freddy or some dude ass?
I hate you
Recently
people.
Watched too, so that's fresh on my mind now.
You couldn't imagine
You
this group
people.
without me, Ryan, because I tear it down every time I'm a part of something, you know. I got Freddy versus Jason at number 5. I guess technically the midway point. Freddy versus Jason's just fun. I don't think they took it too seriously, even though I guess they definitely did show a lot more favoritism to Jason in that movie. But I mean, Jason's a classic icon too. You can't really go wrong with watching that film. I have Freddy's Dead at number 6. I know it's kind of weird to have the 6th movie, which I think most people really don't like, obviously, but Freddy's Dead was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun celebrity cameos in there too. You had Roseanne, Tom Arnold, Alice Cooper, and Johnny Depp even makes a cameo in that movie too. I got Dream Master at number 7. I don't think Elm Street 4 is a bad movie, but I really hate the fact that you spend Dream Warriors getting to know like Joey and Kincaid and just all these kids, and then yeah, they're just all dead now. Whatever, just get rid of them. And that sucks because, I think Kincaid was probably the best character in 3, and he's the first one that gets whacked in that film. Stinks. Number 8, I have Dream Child. Dream Child is just absolutely fucking insufferable. It bogs itself down so much on the Elm Street mythos, and at that time the MPAA was just really cracking down on the violence in these sorts of movies, so it doesn't even have any like super good kills, which even 4 has a lot of really good kills. It's got the Roach Hotel kill scene, which is amazing. 5 doesn't have that luxury though, unfortunately. And I have the remake at the bottom because it's basically it's the first movie but with worse effects and nothing really interesting done with it outside like the micro sleep, and they briefly tease like, oh, he didn't actually like molest and hurt these kids. Freddy could have potentially been innocent, but then they find his like molestation bunker, and it's just, I guess everything is true, and they were completely right to kill him. But yeah, that's my top 9. I'll let someone else take the floor now.
Cryo.
Yes.
It is your turn, good sir. Mr.
Okay.
Bert, Sausage Penis, Bringer Upper,
I'm just
Snoop
saying what
Lion.
it's on. Look, I'm just saying what was on everyone's mind, and I just said it.
Snoop
Okay, the man
Lion
looks like a
Freddy.
burnt penis.
Oh, okay, sir.
Um,
You know it's your turn.
For best, for one, I did the original Nightmare. I felt that it was nice and grounded. It was very simple. I like the fact that they're like pushing the whole the final girl thing as if it was Tina, but then they're like, nope, you thought, and she got ganked like instantly. I like the fact that Wes wanted everyone to be like, okay, who's going to be the main final character in this movie? It's going to be this one, maybe this one. And you just guess until like halfway into the movie and you're like, oh, it's that one. Till A New Nightmare, I actually really did enjoy this because it used the original concept of Freddy and made him really, really fucking terrifying. This movie is the one that actually kept me on the edge of my seat out of all the Nightmare on Elm Street films, minus the original. This one was the one that made me go like, oh, holy crap. The fact that Freddy, the character of Freddy, branching out into the real world, was very interesting. Dream Warriors is 3. I like the fact that Nancy returned to help you know to help the people out and things like that, and the fact that these people also have powers and everything like that. Really love that. And I think Dream Warriors was like the first movie to introduce like rock music or just music in general. Um, but and I don't know. I feel like Dream Warriors. Some people sleep on it. 4 would be Dream Master. I know people shit on this movie, but I like the concept of the fact that the main character, she basically gets to whenever a friend of hers dies, she basically takes on that person's personality and what they can do. Uh and I don't know. People really do sleep on Master. I know Dream Master isn't like extremely good, but I did like that. That was actually very, very good. Um Now this one, it was a bitch to actually sort out. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I like the fact that Freddy wanted to get out into the real world with by the use of Jesse. Uh but that movie does have flaws in it. Uh but I liked it. The biggest flaw with that was the fact that um like all these people at the pool scene, the big entrance of Freddy, all those people could just instantly gang up on him. He's powerless pretty much, nearly. It just does not make him terrifying when there's all these teens that's bigger than he is. They could just instantly gang him. But other than that, I did like that concept. And also, yes, the movie was pretty gay, but it's our kind of it's our gay, okay? We love that movie. Yes, I'm speaking for everyone else. Deal with it. um Next is Freddy versus Jason. Uh I like the fact that he basically manipulated Jason into killing for him so that way people would know his name, he gets his power, but they nerfed him. But yeah, I liked it. It was two horror icons just duking it out. Really love that. The next one is Freddy's Dead. Uh, it was interesting delving into the mind of Freddy and basically them just killing him off permanently. I guess, quote unquote, permanently. But we all know, like, you can't really kill evil. You really can't. You can't really kill horror icons. Next is a Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I didn't mind the fact that Freddy looked like a burnt sausage that looked like a penis. He that's fine. The only issue was really the screenplay, but I did like the fact that Freddy was decently smart in this. Which, if you've seen the movie before, you know what I mean towards the end of the movie, and also the thing about micro naps. And last but not least, Dream Child. This movie was a colossal, like, big fuck up. Because clearly the movie looked like it was rushed to capitalize on what happened to this, the success of Dream Master and Dream Warriors, and it just fell right flat on its face. The killing off the character of Dan, like, practically instantly, it was done for shock value. The concept of not Jason, Freddy feasting the souls that he's basically collecting to Alice's baby. That's interesting and all, but it could have been much better of a movie. But yeah, that's my list.
Torres, it is your turn.
Let me see. First one, I'm pretty much like everybody else. Nightmare on Elm Street 1. Like, I watched it. I think I binge watched all the Nightmare movies early this year, except for the reboot. I just want to at least get the original out the way. Really like the first one. Like the I really like the feeling of old horror films in the 80s. Like, just something like the feel of them and stuff. And, like, I don't know, most horror films nowadays, they might be good, some of them might just feel kind of meh. But I like the first Nightmare. Like Nightmare 3, Dream Warrior. Pretty much everybody got that on the list. And for number 3, New Nightmare. I did notice one thing with the first 3 movies. The best ones are with Nancy Thompson. And number 4 is Nightmare 2. Initially, I was going to have that one lower, but watching it again, it's not that bad. I enjoy some parts of it. Except for the gay stuff, that's for you, sir. That's for you alone. Freddy versus Jason, like that movie. I do think with Freddy versus Jason that I think it's a fun time. I don't think it's a great film, but it's fun. It's a fun little film. Freddy's Dead Final Nightmare, that movie, I put it in the so bad it's good category, where you just laugh at the stupid stuff they do, and it's a good time. Like, I would even say if this was your first Nightmare movie, you would just be laughing your ass off. There's not one point in Final Nightmare that I took it seriously. And Nightmare 4, I did not like this movie that much. I kind of felt like after the third movie, had a lot of potential for the franchise. It could have. To me, this might be a real comparison, but the way how they set up the Dream Warriors, even though they kind of killed off a few of them, it could have been like this is a weird comparison. It could have been like a Alien to Alien situation where Aliens was more action and Alien was more horror. And like with Nightmare movies, they've been like more horror and comedy. Maybe the fourth movie could have been more action and comedy. But they they pretty much killed off all the Dream Warriors. I got disappointed by that. Like, damn. Had so much potential with them, but they just killed them off just like that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember the plot for 5, so 5's at my bottom list. That's my ranking.
Okay, I'm gonna do mine real quick. I'm just looking at my notes here. So number 1 at the best is obviously Dream Warriors. This movie's great. I like the whole psychiatric kids like banding together to fight Freddie. That was cool. They had some characterization with the sad ending of Freddie's mom in this, because I remember like she got, you know, molested by a lot of people, and then she had Freddie, and then it's like you find out she's a ghost. So I'm like, that's kind of creepy and fucked up at the same time. Kincaid was awesome. He called Freddie a burnt pussy, as it says in my notes, and the kills were absolutely great and hilarious. It's like Torres said, the top 3 seem to be like the ones with Nancy or Heather Langenkamp, which is the character in New Nightmare, but she's still Nancy. The next one is the first Nightmare. I think it's very deep, simplistic. You know, the kills are also 100% great as I smack my keyboard into oblivion like some ass. I think that once again you have your memorable moments, the blood geyser, you have Glenn being stupid, you have the whole Tina kill, the body bag section in the school where it's like, you know, get your hall pass or whatever, and Freddy's like dressed up as the hall monitor. Is 100% memorable. Next up is New Nightmare. I recently just watched this and it's 100% crazy from start to finish. It's like Hades said, this is the precursor to Scream, where everything's like self-aware. Even Wes Craven wrote a script in the actual movie for this movie, and they play it up like a little meta when they're talking together with like Nancy, and I thought that was like awesome. Let's see, what else does it say in my notes? I think it's really emotional with the main actress, because she's really good, and you really believe like the situation she's in, and all these weird earthquakes, and the tension increases due to the fact that her son is involved and he's having all these weird dreams too. Next up is Freddy's Revenge. Now, a lot of people rib on this movie. They say, you know, it's a lot of homoerotic tendencies, and that's true, but as a movie, it's not that bad, and I think where it ranks in number 4 makes sense. I thought it was creepy. I thought that the body horror was absolutely sick when they showed it, and it's kind of awesome when that guy, like, who was he? Jesse, when Freddy pops out of his body. That was interesting, in the whole pool party scene. Despite how dumb it is entertaining, to say the least. The only thing is that it's kind of hard for me to buy the whole relationship with Jesse and his girlfriend. I thought that was kind of like forced, I want to say. Maybe that's not the right word, but still, it didn't seem genuine to me after a certain point, because they were off and on screen so many times. Next up is Freddy vs. Jason. Now, in my notes, I didn't write anything down for it, but I do remember liking this movie. It's just that when I look at it from a Freddy perspective, they tried to depower him, so he's not in the movie that much. Therefore, it's kind of middle in the road for like real Freddy fans. But I will say his personality is really great within the whole movie. If you're coming for that as a Freddy fan, you're gonna love Freddy. But in terms of him getting a lot of kills and all that stuff, that kind of goes to Jason. So I just put it right here because it makes sense. It's like really in the middle. Next up is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and this movie it's not bad per se. It's just goofy as fuck to me, because I'm not sure if this is the one where someone dies to a power glove. I think it is, but that part just stuck out. And there's a kid like bouncing up and down on the ceiling, and then he dies by like falling into hell, and that was pretty like fantastic. I love the whole sequence where there was like a deaf kid and there was no sound, and Freddie was like screwing with him because he took his earpiece. I mean, that stuff is fun. It's a wacky, fun movie, and it's entertaining from start to finish. Next up is the remake, which is controversial because it's higher, but honestly, with the lingering issues it has, I did like it quite a bit over the bottom list. I felt that Jackie Early was okay, but he didn't live up to Robert Englund, and there are some scenes where they try to recreate shamelessly, and it didn't work out too well. Overall, though, I did enjoy the kills. I thought they were gruesome, and the micro sleep presentation, all that stuff was great. It had some redeeming moments here or there. Then we go to the bottom, which is Dream Master, and I don't know, it's just the acting in this movie seems so off, and it seems so ridiculous to a point where I can't even take it seriously. Like in the first opening minutes, there's a dog pissing fire, and I'm like, is this Ghost Rider now? Like, why is this animal pissing flame all over the ground? Why are they killing off like the Dream Warriors like nothing? Didn't they have like powers? I know Kincaid like pushes a car, but it doesn't amount to anything because Freddie kills him anyway. Someone dies in a bed. I forgot who it was. It was the mute that couldn't talk, but he talked like later on. Yeah, Mr. Joey. And I was confused. I was like, did he drown in his waterbed? Like, what the fuck happened there? And then Freddie had something to do with it. So I'm like, yeah, I don't like this movie that much. There are some redeeming qualities, like Hades said, like the Roach Motel, and he squeezes it. Once you check in, you can never check out. I thought that was nice body horror. Overall, though, I didn't like it that much. And then at the bottom is Dream Child, and my notes are interesting for this. The first thing I said was, this movie is fucking awful. This movie is fucking awful. And this movie is fucking awful. Fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. That's what my notes say. It doesn't make sense. It's confusing. You got baby Freddie and his head looks like the size of a football. You have no plot structure at all. He crawls into some clothes, and then he turns into Freddie again, and then he goes against Alice. There's a random like sex scene at the beginning, which was probably the only best part of the movie. They try to explain more plot points with Alice and Amanda Krueger, and it turned out to be boring compared to the previous lore. I said this movie is garbage. I've seen better acting in a Ron Jeremy pornography. The kills are annoying. Freddie is annoying, and so are the characters. And I rage quit this movie. So I really did not like Dream Child at all. And there's my list. So, Lady Tolkien, I guess you are the final person to do the list.
Okay, so mine's gonna be pretty short and sweet. I had Dream Warriors as my favorite. I think it had fantastic humor. I really fell in love with the characters, and nobody can disagree that Kincaid is the best of the movie. I mean, his lines are just pure gold. I mean, to say it's my dick that's killing me now, it's fantastic. In second, I had the original. Just because it's the original, I had it in second. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Most of these I had actually never seen until a week or so ago. So in third, I had Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I expected this one to be bad for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I was very pleasantly surprised at how good it was. I liked how the script was being written as the movie was going along. I thought that was really interesting and unique. I have the remake as my fourth, which is really high on the list compared to everybody else. But I think the reason I have it so high is just because it's the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I had ever seen, and I'd seen it way back in high school. And so it just has nostalgia for me. So I think that's why I have it as high as I do. Next, I had Freddy versus Jason. I really like this one just for the comedic relief. It was just pure carnage throughout the whole thing, and I just enjoyed the back and forth between Freddy and Jason the whole time. It kept me interested compared to some of the others. Next, I had number 6, Freddy's Dead. I enjoyed this one for the most part. It was just so weird that it was hilarious to watch. I had number 2, Freddy's Revenge next. I just did not like this one. I thought it was really weird coming after the first one. It just didn't feel like it melded with the storyline in general. It, to me, felt like it had nothing to do with Nightmare on Elm Street besides the fact that it took place in the same house. It was just so weird. The only good part was probably the party scene, and that was all I enjoyed of it. Next, I had Dream Master. I did not like this one at all. They totally did the Dreamers dirty. Killed them off so bad. And then, of course, last, like most people had, it was Dream Child. That shit was so awful. I literally had to get up multiple times and take a break because it was so bad, and ended up having to drink through most of it because I just couldn't stand it. It was so bad. But yeah, that's my list.
Oh, finally, we can all talk now. So we're gonna do like general questions, which is like if you guys have anything to say about the movies or best and worst, like kills or Freddy looks or stuff like that, we can open up the floor, have that conversation, and then we can sign off. So Cryo, I heard you had a few for us.
Well, like questions?
Yeah.
Honestly,
we can start from there. Like best
Yeah,
and
I
worst
mean, like,
kills, like we can go
best
right
and
on that one.
worst.
Damn, I have to really think about this one.
I mean, Glenn. Does Glenn not have one of the best kills in the entire franchise?
I mean, yeah.
I would say
Getting sucked into his bed and then a geyser of blood done all practically for reference. It's just an upside down set.
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I kind of thought the Tina kill was a lot more brutal. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. But I think just Glenn's just ends up being more memorable because you don't actually see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't see it, and it's a nice visual, but I also like that one as well. Like the first one has a lot of those where those kills are gonna stick out in your head no matter what.
Yeah, and that's why with the remake, it just looks so much worse in comparison. Like the Freddy wall is CG now instead of practical.
That looked like absolute dog shit in the remake.
The throat slitting though was kind of cool. Like I did like that part.
Yeah, that's a good kill. It starts with a throat slit and ends with a throat slit.
For me, I think like one of the best. Like, yeah, what happened to Glenn? Like that's one of the best, but I think the other one, because of just how horrifying it was to witness that, and because of how brutal it was, A New Nightmare, where he killed Julie.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one line when he's like, "Hey, ever play Skin the Cat?" And I'm like, oh hell no. But worse would probably have what happened to the stoner and Freddy versus Jason. That was
when he gets like chopped in half.
Gets possessed.
Yeah, he gets possessed.
He just gets possessed, which you might as well just say, Freddy killed him. You might as well just say that.
Just give it to Jason.
Just finished it.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Spencer and 6 because he's also a stoner and he just falls down a hole and that's it.
Oh, he fell down the pits of hell.
I don't know where that shit went.
I have one favorite kill, but it's technically not from Freddy. It was from Jason. It doesn't really count. Damn. Because the one I'm thinking about on the one with Jason when who was that one? Who was the one blocker who was talking shit to Jason? I mean, talking shit to Freddy, and then Jason just killed her.
I know you're talking about. She was played by Kelly Rowland. She was talking about Freddy's cake and saying
Yeah.
how he couldn't get it up. And then Freddy was like, you know what? Turn around. Something waiting for you if you turn around. And then Jason just like kills her and she yeets into a tree.
Didn't that
Ow.
chick win a contest to get that role? Sidebar, but
I don't
I swear to God, she
remember.
won like Scream Queens or some show like that, and she got a role in Freddy versus Jason because of it.
I really don't remember for that one. Just I just
I gotta
remember that
look that
line
up.
and she got killed.
Oh yeah, Kia.
Mm.
And that's what you get for getting named after a car brand.
Okay. Trying to think of worst kills. I just my mind is drawing a blank.
Oh, we're talking about
Can I
worst
say
kills
one?
now.
Yeah.
Like Beth's kill, like which out of the movies was our, pretty much like our, what we feel like was the best kill of the series, and what was like the worst kill of the series.
Honestly, I guess you can kind of say there are those moments where Freddy dying is like stupid. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I think it was, which part was it? Part 6, where he was getting like lawn darted and he was getting like pipe bombs stuck to him and getting stuff stuck to his crotch. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous now. This is, you can stop. We get it. It's a comedian act.
I'd like to add that the pipe bomb and all those other weapons were confiscated from children from that orphanage for reference.
Yeah, so in a sense, they are an accessory to murder.
Well, you know what? I blame the parents. Oh wait.
Oh, they're dead. You forgot about that.
Speaking of,
Oh,
speaking of parents, if we talk about worst kill, I think the way Nancy's mom. Well, I don't know. What do you want? Because it's like they got that first one, that second one that was just a dream sequence, but the way she was dragged in the door, you could tell it was a doll.
Is that like a
Well,
sex
yeah.
toy or
The
something?
blow-up doll.
Yeah, I think they
yeah, she
filmed.
was dead weight.
It's because they had to reshot the ending because they wanted to tie in for a sequel.
Yeah, I saw a documentary and I remember Wes Craven said he did not like that reshot ending. It's something he did not prefer when they were setting up a sequel. I think it was like way different.
Yeah, it was just gonna be them going in the car and then driving away.
Yep, and then the sex toy got dragged in the door and I was like, it looks kind of fake and ridiculous. I don't know why you went through with this.
But yeah, sadly, studios wanting to hook in for more sequels isn't too
Hey, look.
Oh,
uncommon.
True.
Look, Freddie was horny. Okay.
All right then. What the fuck? Well, let's see. So best and worst Freddy look. I guess that's a no-brainer.
Oh wait, hold on. Can I interject really quick before we move on?
Sure.
I didn't like Dream Child, like part 5. But I did like I think it was the first kill of the guy that like kind of got fused to his motorcycle, or like his car like turned into a motorcycle or whatever, and like that's how he died, but it ended up just looking like a normal car crash. Because that one kind of freaked me out. But I just thought that it was kind of like, a lot of the kills were obviously creative, but like I just thought that one was interesting.
He looked like a Mad Max character for like a slight nanosecond before he died. I thought that was funny, actually.
I did look a little creepy though.
Yeah. Honestly, Freddy looks, I really just like the original in terms of how he appeared and everything, but for worst, it's a tie between either I kind of didn't like how he looked in New Nightmare. I thought that was kind of weird, a little bit bulky, but I would say the remake one is worse because he really actually does look like a burnt lion with a skin graft of cum over his face. So there you go.
Damn.
I'm sorry, I just thought of something weird and that came to
I
my mind.
remember someone saying that the burn effects look more like melted cheese.
Well, people have been saying Freddy looks like a pizza for the longest time, so there you go. It just looks worse. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, Jackie Earle is like a great actor, but the makeup there is very off.
It very fish-like qualities. That's what I said when I first saw it years and years ago.
Yeah, fish lens. Like, I don't know what they were thinking there. I think it could have looked, if they wanted to do something menacing, it could have looked a little bit more horrifying than what we got.
They should probably go more with like the new Nightmare look if they want him to look more intimidating.
He's a big,
'Cause, I don't
he's
know.
a big boy.
I fuck with that new Nightmare look. I thought it was a very strong look for Freddy. I don't know if it outstrips the original, but still really.
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
with the claws being organic.
Oh, I did
He
like
had
the
organic
skeleton.
claws for like 2 movies. It's weird because the claws grew out of his fingers in 2 and it stayed that way for 3. He didn't go back to the glove till like 4. It's weird.
It kind of looks like a skeleton, so I can actually say it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that sometimes there's inconsistencies.
We're talking about his best looks, right? Because I just stood off for like a minute.
Best and worst.
Worse probably be some of the movies after 3, but I like his new Nightmare look. Yeah, that's about it. I like the OGs, like the 1, 2, and 3 look. New Nightmare. I can't even speak on the reboot because I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, believe me, it doesn't look that great. I guess this is a no-brainer. So, favorite Freddy moment.
Well, before we go on to that, I would say for me, like favorite design either has to be from the first movie or New Nightmare, and worst, I guess yeah, probably like the remake, maybe the remake, and probably 2, because 2 he just looked like a burnt pepperoni.
I mean, that's the face you have when you eat like 2 buckets of mashed potatoes. So there you go. But best and worst Freddy moments.
Well, I'm sorry, Cry. I'm surprised you haven't made a Deadpool joke at this point.
Yeah, why haven't you?
I was like, he's gonna make one. He's gonna make one soon.
Just give him time. So best and worst Freddy moments. I don't know. Worst Freddy moments. That's drawing a blank to me. But best. I mean, I'm simple. It's welcome to prime time, bitch. I believe that's the line. Yeah, from the third one. He pulls her in the TV and just completely kills her. That was very interesting and cool. Also, when he turned to a snake and he was eating someone, I was like, that's disturbing, but also interesting. So Dream Warriors had like a lot of cool moments. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what was the question?
Best and worst Freddy moments.
Hard to pick a worst moment because like even in like the really bad movies, Freddy isn't really the low light of them. It's like the everything else, basically, you know?
I don't know. You could say Power Glove is like really, really dumb in a fun way.
Yeah, but that's like camp, you know? And I'm a big fan of campy movies.
It's just really dumb. Like I liked part 6 for what it was for that, but it had me laughing the whole time when he did that.
Oh yeah, and yeah, the Alice Cooper is his dad. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like that's a thing. Okay.
The Power Glove reminds me of that one AVG episode, the earliest ones. I was like, that's cool to see. Even though that came first, the Freddy's dead. It was cool to see in the AVG. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a nice little reference if you saw the movies at that point.
You know what? I might as well bring this up because this is usually like a point of contention for the remake. So they changed Freddy to be a certain diddler, and I guess you could say maybe could that be like his worst moment because a lot of people don't like this change. But I was like, Freddy's always been kind of weird. I think someone brought that up in the Jason podcast where he's like, "Oh, I'll be your boyfriend, Nancy," or whatever. He's been always like kind of this weird borderline sexual deviant. So how do you feel about all those changes in the remake that they did to his character?
I think
it was pointless.
Interesting.
I think Freddie was always supposed to be a pedophile, but like
They dropped it in the original.
yeah, they dropped it in the original because back in the 80s, there apparently actually was this like huge moral panic over child molestation. I learned about it watching this movie called Capturing the Freedmans, and apparently, like, I guess a lot of people were freaking out about it back then. So Wes Craven just dropped it so he could avoid, like, you know, any additional controversies being added to his movie.
Yeah, and also there's like another documentary on Shudder that talked about this, and I found out through there where like Wes said, you know what, we're just gonna change it and make it more simplistic, like a lot of implications maybe, and of course he killed these kids, but he didn't do anything else with them, so he kept it at that. But otherwise, I can't think of, like, Freddy's so good as a character in terms of entertainment. Like, his best moments even shine through with the bad movies, except maybe for that one.
I think him being a diddler makes it really hard to like him because he's still like, because it makes him a real, well, he's still a horrible person, but yeah, that is taking it one step too far.
Yeah, he's still like a kid killer in the main canon, so you gotta look at that as well.
It doesn't help with the remake. They definitely cranked up like the perverted nature of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it goes from being like, yeah, it goes from being fun to being very uncomfortable.
Especially the one line where the girl says "fuck you" and he just goes, "Ooh, I like that." I'm like, all right.
Oh
I'm
yeah, he
checking
did
out.
say that. I was like, what the fuck?
I did forget about that.
I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. Creepy.
Yeah.
Not even like creepy fun like the original movie. It's just like it makes your skin crawl, dude.
Yeah, like when he said he was Nancy's boyfriend. Now it was actually kind of funny in the original.
Okay, now when he said that, was that the scene where the tongue came out of the phone?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. But
Yeah, like the first film is mostly a horror movie, but there is some like tongue-in-cheek moments sprinkled in.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's kind of accepted, even though it's super fucking weird, because Freddie is doing all this weird shit.
Yeah, the context with that is the fact that he is basically teasing her, saying that, guess what? I'm about to kill your boyfriend, and there's nothing you can do about it.
How did Glenn even fall asleep anyway? He had a TV and the radio blaring right into his ears.
Who knows?
I mean, if you're tired enough.
Oh, I got a good question. Favorite final girl or final boy?
Nancy.
I mean, for final girl, it's definitely Nancy.
It's hard not to pick Miss Heather Langenkamp. She's just really good in that role.
Honestly, I was really bummed out when her and John Saxton died in 3. Like, they were both great.
Honestly, if Elm Street had ended at 3, it'd have been a perfect send off for them. To be honest,
because
like
they
heroic
killed
sacrifice.
Yeah, she sacrificed herself to kill Freddie once and for all.
Yeah, Nancy is the best actress, but I did like the chick from part 6, I believe. Like, she was doing all the kung fu. I forget her name though, and she kicked Freddie in the balls. I thought that was the funniest shit ever.
Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy was awesome. As for worse, I have no idea. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
The chick that took over in 4, she's just terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, which one is that? Damn it.
I don't know.
Alice?
I didn't mind Alice in 4. I minded her in 5 because the screenplay just made her a dum-dum.
Yeah, I have to agree with Cryo. She is a very awful character in Dream Child. Like, I don't know. It's just
the screenplay just made her just like really dumb.
Yeah,
it just was flat.
Like, she was okay in the last movie, but in this one, she's worse, and the plot is all over the place. So I think the script writing did not help in that case.
Yeah, they nerfed her. They nerfed her IQ, man.
They nerfed her IQ. All right then.
The patch notes went through.
Nah, just the crew from Cabin in the Woods worked real overtime on that one, you know?
But I mean, I don't know. I still like that one line though, in Freddy's Dead when Tracy beat the shit out of him. He was like, "What's with kids today, huh? Got no respect."
I guess like supporting character 100% Kincaid, right? Like we're on the same page, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when you curse
Yeah.
out Freddy like that, it's no, you got to be like top supporting character. There's no way.
I still,
Yeah.
I still
was-
liked his. I still like that line though
Mm-hmm.
between him and Lawrence Fishburne. He was like, hey, you better get used to seeing his face in solitary. He's always there, and he's like, yeah, I go there so I don't have to take a look at your ugly face.
Take a look at your
I was
ugly
at
ass.
least I was at least hoping like the Dream Warriors would come back in some capacity as ghosts, though.
That was
They just shouldn't have
comic.
killed them. Like very
Yeah,
simple.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
Doc
only
in
happened-
6, I honestly think would have been a perfect like Kincaid
Oh.
instead of him, you know. And I'm not saying
Right.
it just because it's a black guy either. I think it's just perfect.
Oh god.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
rest in peace.
You know what's funny?
I think like the actors were even surprised saying that, oh, we're getting killed off.
It was just done like hastily to introduce you know, they just hastily got killed off to make way for the new characters, which it should have been done like that.
And then 6 got rid of everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I did like Doc because out of everybody in the series, like he was the one guy that out of Kincaid that was actually like calm about everything. He literally, as soon as he saw Freddy, the man took a baseball bat and just mollywopped him while still not even breaking a sweat. Don't mess with Yaphet Kotto. Rest in peace, by the way. Rest in peace, by the way, because he died unfortunately. I think last year.
Oh. Rest in peace,
And
champ.
he
You
was an
beat
alien.
Freddy's ass with a baseball bat.
He was also an alien as well.
Everybody's an alien. Like that's a national treasure, dude.
You know what I found kind of funny when I was watching Nightmare 3 for the first time? I saw Lawrence Fishburne and the other guy we talked about, one of the Dream Warriors. If you didn't see Nightmare 4, that'd been one of the first horror films, like one you could think of where the black character doesn't die. And then you watch 4.
Just for them to rip him away from us in 5.
No.
Wait, they killed Lawrence Fishburne?
Nah.
Oh,
No,
or are
they
you talking about
killed-
Kincaid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to say because I was confused because someone
Well, and
mentioned he came back, but I was like, I didn't see him, so.
You know, I got a good question.
Go ahead.
This will be followed up by something else after we all answer this question. Best Freddy reincarnation or resurrection?
No, we know it ain't part 5, so let's just skip over that.
2.
Explain 1 and 2 because I
No,
kind of
we know
forget.
it's not. Oh wait, 5 was Dream Child. Ugh.
5 was when he was crawling around as a baby, yeah.
That's why I said it's terrible. That's the worst one.
2
Oh yeah.
2 was when he was like born out of Jesse's like body, essentially. It's just a good effect, you know.
Oh,
Or maybe
yeah.
I'm thinking too practically about it in that sense, but that was just a really good shot, like no joke.
Yeah. I was
I mean, yeah, especially that music. You just hear the bum 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 bum. You just hear loud fucking drums as he like slides out of Jesse's body.
I was gonna
Paul.
I was gonna add on to it. What's like the worst and best Freddy death?
Oh, damn. I really have to
Like
think
probably the
about
worst one is where he gets sent back to the womb or some shit.
that.
Yeah.
Sent back to the
yeah,
womb.
that was in Dream Child. That was Dream Child.
Yeah,
Mhm.
his mom picks him up and then takes him home or some shit.
Yeah, and he like tries to climb out of her body. He's like, "Let me out! Let me out!"
I was gonna say the one where he gets blown up by dynamite
Yes.
was
Yep.
worse, but that one's definitely. But the part 5 one only won by like a hair.
It's like, oh, kids.
6 at least, you know, you knew what to expect by the time that fight happened, you know.
Yeah, but it feels like such a lame way to ultimately kill him off by a fucking bomb.
I think like one of the best has to be either like for me it's probably either maybe either 2 or 4.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. For 6, I didn't like the kill of the pipe bomb, but I did like the line where she said "Happy Father's Day" because that was like his daughter. So that felt like a badass way to say something and blow him up beforehand, you know.
So I don't like what they did with the character. I don't like what they did with the character in the comic though.
She was a red herring in the movie, but in the comics I never read them, so I can't say.
Jesus, there's so much media we haven't covered.
Oh yeah,
they basically do a 360 with her character, and she's a bad guy.
What? Come on.
Character development.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
Yeah, they basically had her join Freddie's side, and she ends up getting like run over by a tank.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she was at Tiananmen Square.
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Oh, never mind me.
I'll stand 3 kill. I kind of like how you have to bury his bones and consecrate him to kill Freddy finally, and I think that makes sense.
It was also used as the main way to beat him in the NES game.
Holy water?
Yeah, that's the one guy, the therapist guy, grabs the holy water and douses Freddy's corpse in it.
No, I remember. Yeah, you're right about that.
I still
Probably
remember.
my favorite Freddy death is the one from Freddy vs. Jason, where Jason grabs his head out of the water and he winks to the camera.
Yeah, and they do follow it up in like Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, or I think Freddy's controlling Jason now.
And Bruce Campbell was a little bit young. I would like to see that as a film.
Yeah, I think they were thinking about the film, but apparently the studios didn't like that Ash would win.
He's the hero. Come on.
There was one question I was gonna. Oh, yeah. Okay. Like Freddy's, out of all the plans that Freddy had, which one was the best? Which one was the worst?
You mean to come back to life?
No, not him coming back to life. That was my first question. My second question is, like, his plans, like he had in each of the movies. Which one was the best? Which one was the worst?
Honestly, after a certain point, it just got to a point where he wanted to suck souls, and that's it. Like, it didn't get any more complicated from there, from what I watched.
And then he wanted to be reborn in that lady's womb or some shit.
Okay, that was the worst. I think that was part 5, wasn't it? Ugh, fuck that movie.
Dreamchild. He wanted to be reborn as Jacob, Alice's baby,
and he never came up again.
Now, that's definitely the worst. I think the best. I think one of the best plans that he had was
probably 3.
Yeah, 3. It actually felt like he was doing stuff. So I kind of like that, the whole outcome. And he actually killed Nancy in that movie, which, damn, they actually got rid of her. So it felt pertinent no matter what.
Yeah, but too bad they didn't stop there.
No.
would say either 3 or A New Nightmare, because A New Nightmare, the man, excuse me, the man literally had no limits on what he could do. You could still be awake, and he could still mess with the real world. Like, that's what made a New Nightmare, like, terrifying. The fact that he could still do the normal shit that he could do in, in the dream world, but in real life.
Yep.
Well,
Everything. There was no real limit.
it wasn't really Freddy though, just a demon taking his form.
Yeah, I know, but it's still the embodiment of Freddy.
Yeah, I know they got to a certain point where they explained that this was ancient demons doing this. I thought that was interesting,
Yeah,
but
there was
still.
an ancient demon. Yeah, an ancient demon that something like, as far as I remember, the ancient demon just took on the form of Freddy because the character himself wasn't ready to like be put to rest, I guess.
Mhm.
And so like the only way to beat this demon was basically to finish off the character like completely, not just, blow him up because he wasn't ready to die, I guess.
I know it's a retread, but like I said before, I just watched it. New Nightmare was such a fucking pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And like you said before, it is like pretty much an early idea of what Wes Craven had for Scream.
And Scream also
Yeah.
popped off, so this man knew that meta was the thing.
Yeah,
Well,
and it
yeah,
went back.
considering horror was kind of on its last legs at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, it still had the same vibe as the first 2 films did, because in terms of like the dark humor, the dark comedy, I mean, though 2 started to slowly tip more towards like, a little too goofy, but well, not really, because there was that part where he literally ripped off the top of his head and he's like, "Hey, you've got the body, I've got the brain." So, I mean, I did like the comedy in New Nightmare. It's just very dark.
Oh
So
man.
he was pinned when she was pinned on the ceiling, and he's like, "Dylan, ever played Skin the Cat?" And he
Ugh.
proceeds to kill Julie, and I think he just literally just pushes her head slightly, and her neck just snaps, and her body just falls. And I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Torres, you were saying something?
I forgot.
Damn it, man. Damn it, man.
Everyone's talking. I'm like, I got something to say. Like, oh shit, I forgot.
Bam.
That just happened to me, so don't worry about it. We're in the same boat, buddy.
It do be like that though.
Something about the lore, but my brain turned into a fidget spinner.
The lore.
The lore, man.
What were we talking about? I was away for a moment. I'm sorry.
We were talking about kills, and Cryo was mentioning how he likes Freddy pizza, so there you go.
To go back to best kill, I mean, the Roach Motel from 4, as much as I don't like 4, the effects in that were so good. Like, I have no idea how they had that chick's like whole head peel off and become a roach, but god damn, it was so good.
That is really creepy though.
Yeah, most of the movie is campy, and then you get to that part, and it felt like a completely different movie, in my opinion. Because I was like, oh, I was not expecting half her face to come off like a fruit roll up. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Can we talk about how I thought that she was going to die in a completely different way?
I mean, I wasn't expecting that either, so I'm right there with you.
I literally thought like she was at like right when he got to her, she was already in a position where he could just like off her. So I thought that like low key he was just gonna lift the weights up off of her and just like I don't know, use your imagination.
So like,
But like use the weights to kill her. And so like
Mhm.
after her arm snapped off and like she started to be transformed into a bug, I was just like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Like, what is happening?
I mean, at
Sound
least that's
effect
a
at work.
creative way.
I mean, all I have to say about her is that her face got ripped off like it was Velcro.
Okay then.
I mean, I will say there was that one. I think that one. Which movie was it where the chick gets her? Where Freddy's like feeding her to death or something.
That's 5.
Not Greta. Wait, was
Yeah,
Greta?
even
Yeah,
though the
Greta.
movie shit. Even though the movie shit, at least that one's decent.
5 did have Super Freddy though. I mean, that's a
I mean,
plus.
Yeah, I will say that Greta scene, like in the uncut version of that, we actually saw what he was feeding her, and he was actually feeding her own insides. So
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah, the MPAA really did not like slashers at the time.
Oh, so
Yeah,
that movie
that's
got
why-
censored?
Yeah.
Ooh.
because I think like the line was still in the movie, you are what you eat, and he was basically feeding her herself.
All I know is her cheeks got like really big, like she was eating a jawbreaker from Ed and Eddie, so I thought that was funny.
And then he squeezed the life out of her.
Speaking of cheeks, like someone literally died by Freddy getting in them cheeks because that happened in Freddy versus Jason with the camp counselor. I forgot what he said, but he said something like, "Oh, this bitch can't even hold out" or something like that. It was just stupid. It's so it's so stupid.
I thought you were gonna bring up 4, where he like literally sucked the breath out of that one girl who was asthmatic.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, I remember
Left her-
that. She said, "You want to suck face?" No.
No,
Oh yeah.
That was kind of goofy though.
That was one of the dumb moments, to be honest.
That was the girl that had asthma though, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So like yeah, well that was kind of dumb. I thought it was still kind of creative, like kind of
Mm.
interesting because she had asthma. So like it just looked like she died of an asthma attack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
so loud essentially.
4 is the one where I think I was questioning like the post deaths, because while Freddy was killing them, I remember where they just died of like natural causes. So I was like, I remember when he was like cutting them and slashing them in the first one, and it looked like suicides at certain points, but other points they didn't. Like people would question, oh, they got claw marks on them or something like that. So I thought that was like pretty cool. But yeah, anyone else have any favorite moments, least favorite moments, or things they want to say before we close out?
We all agree Dream Warriors by Dawkins the best outro song, right?
Yeah.
From 3.
Yeah.
Such a good song. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Best story.
You ever seen the
Yeah.
music video for Dream Warriors?
I
Yeah, I love it.
have not. I gotta check that out.
Freddy's killing the band members, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
I got one more question.
Shoot.
Even though the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't that good, do you think they could either do another reboot or try to do like a soft reboot, but like it continues with the other movies? But I'm thinking about that right now. Like, where would they go from that one? So
I mean, they
my
could
question
all.
is a reboot.
It's all up to New Line Cinema.
That's a
I
good
was
question.
gonna say they could always just do what Halloween does and just make a sequel to the first.
I think it depends, because all that shit, it also rests on Wes Craven's estate. So
Yep.
I think now this is my theory, but because Scream is coming out soon, they're gonna take a look at the success of that.
Okay.
Success or not, and if they are, they'll probably talk with New Line and say, could it be possible we take advantage of the fact that Scream did decent in theaters and just have this new Nightmare movie take place after the first one?
It's a tough call because it really does depend on that estate. I don't remember where, but I don't know. Are they like finicky with handing over rights or no? Because I know they handed over Scream, but what about Nightmare?
Well, with Scream, they did that because they took a look at the script and they were like, okay.
So studios
Really?
liked it. It's like let's greenlight it, but for New Nightmare, it's like I don't know. I feel like it could be a new one, and they won't be in the Jason situation, so that's good.
Well, I mean, I think it was last year or maybe a few years ago, they were actually taking a look at some Nightmare scripts as well as a potential um a potential TV show where Robert Englund would play as Freddie again for HBO Max.
Isn't like Robert Englund getting old? So I'm just curious. Like,
I don't think Robert would care at a certain point because
He's 74 now.
ooh,
Good
yeah, a
lord.
lot. He's still a guy. He's still passionate about Freddie, but right now, New Line, the only thing that they really care about is The Conjuring. So until that series dries up, we're probably not going to see a new Nightmare movie.
hate it here. Hate it here.
It's
Yeah.
been 11 years. I think they should just give it another shot, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if they do like a sequel or a reboot, then yeah. Well, I'm still up to seeing a new one.
Same here. I don't mind it as long as they really get creative with the psychological aspects and really just go in on the kills, man, and make Freddy fun again a little bit. Like he doesn't have to be full on serious, but he doesn't have to be like a super cheese ball either. Like you can do
I'd
both.
say have it more close to the first one, but if it leans towards a bit of comedy like the third one, it's fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine to me. Have the right balance, you know.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, as for Robert Englund, if he's still up for it, I wouldn't mind it.
I think we could do these outros though now at this point, unless anyone else has any other questions.
Oh.
As my dogs kill each other in Dreamland. Going
Well,
well.
I have one question though, Ren.
Sure.
When you gonna do a playthrough of the NES game?
I have no idea because I never played it, but I think the only one I played back then was the Friday the 13th one, and I remember kind of liking it. So isn't that the same company that made that game?
I mean, they
LJN.
publish it.
Oh, LJN, yeah.
I forget who made it.
The dreaded
I think-
LJN.
I think that Nightmare game is also co-op.
Yeah.
Hold on, wasn't this man's Freddy Krueger? Wasn't he in like Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat 9? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's based on the remake, so he doesn't talk.
Oh, he's a mute, so they kind of defeated the purpose. He talks in the movie, so that makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't want to hire the actors or didn't want to get an impersonator.
I mean, none of the DLC characters really talked in that game at all. It was just combat grunts.
Even Kratos?
Well, he's a default roster character, not a DLC character. I mean, like Kenshi, Rain, Scarlet, and Freddie.
Oh, okay, I remember now. The big complete pack that they did, complete edition.
You had their gibberish as well.
Yeah. He's also the reason why you can't buy MK9 on digital storefronts anymore.
Oh wow, holy shit.
The rights reverted back to the West Craven estate, and as a result, they lost the rights, so you can't buy MK9 anymore.
So hypothetically, if they did a remaster, they'd probably have to remove Freddie.
Yeah, unless they get the approval and West Estate says yes.
Or they just make it an OC saying, "Yo, guys, this is totally not Freddie."
Just Sharp Hand Joe, like I posted earlier.
All right, here's one good last question. For the people that love music or paid a little bit of attention to the music, which movie had the best score? Which one had the worst score?
Just
3
say
wins
5.
off of Dream Warriors alone. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just say 5 is bottom because I forget everything about that movie in nanoseconds. So yes.
But yeah, even though the first one's still the best, I think the third one had the better soundtrack.
With in terms of the score, it's a tie for me. I mean, I liked 3, especially the fact that they actually licensed some songs too. Because 3, like I mentioned before, 3 was when they actually started to they started adding like licensed songs, which I thought was actually a nice little touch. It definitely did feel like, an 80s film doing that. Because I think in 4, they were going to have the Miami Vice. I think it was Miami Vice. They were going to have the theme song as soon as Freddie put on his sunglasses, but because I think of licensing issue, or they wanted like too much money than it was worth, they went, nah, we'll cut it out of the movie. I would say best score, a toss up between 3, 1, and A New Nightmare. Worst.
5. Say it. Say it.
I'm trying to remember the score.
See that's why if you can't remember it, then it's not good.
I'd probably say like either the remake score or Dream Child.
Well, that is true. Like the remake score did not stand out at all whatsoever. And this is coming from someone that movie's not like super bottom for me, and it still didn't stand out.
Dream Child also did not have that many like licensed songs either. They just had one from Sinead O'Connor. Like that's the only song that they had that was licensed. Just one. And that was when she was lifting the weights. Or what? No, was it? No, that was 4. 4 is the one that only had one song in it. No, 2 songs. Never mind. Dream Child had none.
Yep.
That's actually depressing.
Bottom where it belongs.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can do outros.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun little informative podcast. So we're gonna start off with Cryo for outros.
You can follow me on Twitter, Cryo Gaming. The O is just the number 0. Same with my YouTube channel.
Next up is Drobit.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Drovik777. It's really the only place I'm active at.
Hades.
I am on YouTube at City State Manticore. I make humorous video game reviews. I'm on Twitter at Hades_Manticore, and I've begun streaming on Twitch, just Hades Manticore, all one word, all lowercase.
Lady Tolkien.
You can find me at both Twitter and YouTube at Lady Tolkien.
All right, I guess it's my turn since I'm doing this in order. So you can find me. Yeah, I didn't do it for the rankings, but I'm doing it for the outro, so go figure. You can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative. You can find me on Twitch at Renegade_Operative, and you can find me on Twitter at RentOperative_. Next up is what is it, Black Man? You want to fight?
Oh, so you just skipped me like that. Damn, okay.
No, next up is Des. You're the last one. So Des, what is your outros?
You can find me on Twitter at Desiree_Veronica, and you can find me on Twitch at VersaVulture24.
All right, and now finally we have a superior artist, or formerly known as Superior has no Spider-Man No Way Home tickets because he hasn't seen it yet. So do your outros, good sir.
I'll keep it wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Don't follow me on Twitter. I ain't post nothing until 2023. See ya.
All right, there you go. Anyway, we are gonna sign out. This has been the Freddy Krueger ranking podcast. You know, don't fall asleep. Take some good pills, some Similac, you know, and you'll be perfectly a-okay out there in YouTube land. So we will see you guys next time. Later, and have a safe 2022. Merry Christmas. Merry belated Christmas as well.